Hi everyone, my name is Ahmad and you are watching Jaggu Studio YouTube channel. So today we are going to create this countdown animation in Blender using geometry nodes in Blender. So without wasting any time, let's get started. First of all, we need to create the countdown animation. So to create that, we need to add a value to string node. Then we need to add a string to curve node. Now plug the string to curves. Go ahead, set the size to 4. Then plug it here into this group output. Then add a transform geometry node and set the X rotation to 90 degrees. Now to create a countdown animation, we need to add a scene time node and plug the seconds into this value section of this node. Now if you press play, you guys can see we have our animation, countdown animation. Now if you guys want that it will stuck on 5 or 6, means it won't go further that number. So to do this, we need to add a value node here. Then we need to add a math node here and set it to subtract. Then plug the value into this subtract node. Make sure to plug it into this first value and plug the scene time into this second one. Now set the value to 5 of our node. If you set the value to 10, then there will be 10. If you guys set it to add, set the math node to add, then it will plus it. Means if you set it to 0 and press play, then it will plus. And if you set it to subtract, then it will, and set the value to 5, then it will go 5 to 0. As you guys can see, 4 3 2 1 and 0. Now as you guys can see, it's going in 0 1 -2 -3. So but we don't want it to go on minus. So to do this, what we need to do is duplicate this math node, set it to round, then duplicate it one more time and set it to wrap. Now if you guys press play, but now just come here to this wrap node, set the maximum value to 0 and set the minimum value to 5. Now if you press play, we can see 3 2 1 and 0, then it will start from 5. So now if you guys want that it will go faster, so press shift plus A. So to do this, duplicate this math node and set it to multiply and increase the value. The higher the value, the fast it will change the number. As you guys can see, it's on 10 and it's on 1. It's up to you. You guys can use any value that you guys want. Now we need to fill this curve. So to do this, we need to add a fill curve node. As you guys can see, we have this. Now we need to extrude it so it will look at 3D. So go ahead, add a extrude mesh node here. Now make sure to uncheck individual and increase this offset value to get your desired extrusion. I am going with 0.6. Now as you guys can see, we don't have a face here on our back. So to fix this, we need to just add a join geometry node and plug the fill curve into this join geometry node. Now you guys can see we have this face back, but now if we enable face orientation, we can see that's in red, means it's not good. So to fix this, we need to add a flip faces node and place it here. Now you guys can see the issue is fixed. So Now we can move further on our simulation of bubbles. So press shift plus A, add simulation nodes, then add a join geometry node here at the center. Now we need to add a realize instance node here after this join geometry node, and we need to add a mesh to volume node so that we can add our bubbles to it. So mesh to volumes, place it here, set the resolution to size instead of amount. Now set the voxel size to 0.1 or anything that you guys want. Now go ahead, add a distribute points in volume, place it after this node and increase the density to your liking. I am going with this. You can increase the density from here as well. Now just bring these simulation nodes here, and so now just plug this into this simulation join. Now just come here to this distribute points in volume node and plug it into this join geometry node, and plug this simulation node into this group output section. And now we can start further. Now if you guys press play, we can see that the numbers are not going, just like it's 5 when we press play. When the time is come for 4, so the 5 need to disappear and 4 need to appear. But when we add this, when we add our points here in our volume, so this node don't know that I need to disappear these points when the 4 come. So now we need to add a delete geometry node here after this join geometry node to fix that. And now everything will disappear from here. Then add a set position node here after this delete geometry node. Then just go ahead, add a domain size node and set it to point cloud, and plug these together and plug it into this selection section of our delete geometry node. Now go ahead, add a compare node, set the input type to integer and set the operation to greater than or equal. Now plug the point cloud into this B section. Then just go ahead, add a index node here and plug it into this A section. Now add a sample index node, place it here and plug this distribute points in volume to this sample index node. Then duplicate this index node and plug it into this index. Then add a position node here and plug it into this value. Make sure to change the sample index node data type to vector. Then add a random value node here and duplicate this position node. Then add a vector mix node here, mix vector node, place it here and plug the sample index to B and position to A. Then just go ahead and plug the random value into this vector section and plug this vector and plug this mix node into this position section. Now come down to this random value node and set the minimum value to 0.05 and set the maximum value to 0.3. So now if you guys press play, we can see we are having our animation. So now we can go further. So press shift plus A, add a set radius node here after this set position node. Then add a set position node after this set point radius node. Then add a sample index node or just duplicate it from here and plug it into this geometry section just like this. Then come here and duplicate this position node and plug it into this value section. Then just go ahead, add a index of nearest node and plug it into this index section. Then add a vector math node, place it here, set the type to subtract and bring these three nodes here Now plug the sample index here, then duplicate this position node, place it here and plug it into this section of our vector math node. Now plug the vector math node into this radius section of our set point radius node, then just duplicate it and set the type to length. Plug it again, then just go ahead, add a math node here and make sure to set it to divide and set the value to 2. Now just come here, duplicate this length node, duplicate it one more time and just go ahead and plug it into this offset section of our set position node. Now change this node to cross product and this one to scale. Make sure to plug it again into this offset section. Now plug this cross product into this value vector section, then just plug the length into this cross product and make sure to set the last value to 1 and set the value of this node to 0.3. Now just come here and add a instance on points node, then add a icosphere node and plug it into this instance section of our instance on points node. Now just come here and decrease the radius to your liking. I am going with 0.1. Then just go ahead, set the subdivision level to 3, then add a set shade smooth node. Now add a radius node here and a math node, set it to multiply and plug the radius into this value section and plug the multiply into this scale section. Now set this value to 10 and as you guys can see we have this. Now press play to see your animation. Now it's time for material, so add a set material node here, select this material, then just come here, add a stored name attribute node, store named attribute node and set the name to red. Then go ahead, add a radius node or just duplicate it from here and plug it into this value section of this node. Then come here and open shader editor. Then add a attribute node, set the name to red. Then go ahead, add a map range node, plug the fag into this value and plug the result into this transmission. Now set the from minimum value to 0.03 and from maximum value to 0.06 and decrease the roughness. Now just set the shader type to world and delete this background node. Go ahead, add a volume scatter node and plug it into this volume section. Set the density to whatever you guys like. I'm going with 1.5 and increase this value. Now just go ahead, go into rendered mode, then press shift plus A, add a point light here, place it here at this location or at here. Then come here to object data properties and set the power to 1K. Then just go ahead, go into rendered mode now. Set the radius to 0.1, not 1.5 and set the power to whatever you guys like. And now just change the color of your light to whatever you guys want. I am going with this blue kind of color and we are done now. So if we set the transmission value to 1, we can see it's not looking that good. So that's why we uses this node, map range and attribute node. Now just play with these two values to get your desired look that you guys want. Now just press play to see your final result. And yes, that's it for today's video. If you guys have learned something, make sure to hit that like button. So yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.